Okay. Good morning. I'd like to welcome everybody to the Delaware County Commissioners meeting. It is Monday, February 1st, 2021. The time is 9:08. I would also like to remind everybody that if you have any questions or comments, please go to commissioners@co.delaware.in.us to put your questions and comments, and we will get those answered and get them right back to you. Steve, could you call the roll for us, please?
Mr. Henry.
Here.
Ms. Reagan.
Present.
Mr. King.
Here.
Mr.
Next,
Brooks.
we'll move to appointments. And under appointments, we need to appoint somebody to the Creed Board. Leslie Matheson, she was placed on another board, so she has to be removed. And Doug White is wanting to be on that board. If I get a motion and a second for Mr. White.
So move.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Steve, can you call the roll, please?
Ms. Reagan.
Yes.
Mr. Henry.
Yes.
Mr. King.
Yes. Next, we have approval of minutes. We have January 4th minutes, hearing with the UAW Local 231, January 13th, 2021 executive session, January 19th, 2021 commissioners meeting.
I move we adopt all three, please.
I'll second the approval.
Have a motion and a second for approval. Steve, can you call the roll, please?
Mr. Henry.
Yes.
Ms. Reagan.
Yes.
Mr. King.
Yes. Under presentations, we were going to have Brad do it under presentations, but I think we're going to move him to department heads and elected officials because this could be a lengthy presentation. So we'll go ahead and move on to contracts and agreements for approval. First off, we have the emergency declaration 2021-03. John, you made some amendments to this since we went from, I believe, 2.5 to 2.0. Can you explain this, please?
Yes, and I've put up on the screen the revised emergency declaration, and I appreciate the input from Jamie Bain. This is to coincide with the governor's 21-02 and 21-03 executive orders. This is to be in place till February 16th, 2021, your next meeting. Delaware County has reduced its rating from a 2.5 to a 2.0. We're still in the orange category, and it changes some of the requirements for meetings and social events. And Exhibit A to that is what I've added, which comes from the state, and I appreciate Jamie adding that for us. That social gatherings are 50 people, and events may take place with limits of not more than exceeding 25% of the facility. I've incorporated this particular document as Exhibit A as part of your emergency declaration.
Thank you for adding that. And I move we adopt as presented.
I have Jamie. Jamie and I spoke about this, and on the on Exhibit A, the second page, number 2, says the overall size of the social gathering with us would be 50 people. Then if you go to number 3, in the orange categories, not to exceed 25% of the facility capacity. That would be over 50 people. Am I correct in that, Jamie?
Yes. So as I understand it, the state's recommendation is the lower numbers that we've been operating under for a number of weeks now. But they're allowing events to open up to that larger number, which would, in most cases at least, it would be a larger number, which is the percentage of the venue's capacity. State does go on to require there that the event or gathering hosts submit a safety plan to us, which was the way we operated for quite a while there last year. So there is no hard set number that will be allowed. You may see an event that's capped at 50, or it may be allowed at a higher number according to the venue capacity. It's going to be on the event plan submission. They'll need to show that they've got something in place that's going to prevent the spread of the virus among any attendees. I think this is a good thing in this case. We've seen a number of instances under the previous more restrictive set number of 50 where what would have otherwise been a safe event that could have proceeded was capped at that 50, making it just more difficult on business owners. Or one great example, dance recitals at Emmons Auditorium. Ball State has proven that they're willing and capable of putting on very safe events, managing them completely, but Emmons was capped at 50 people for a dance recital when they have a capacity of thousands. This will go a long way towards helping some of those events proceed in a safe manner, not just as a free-for-all, but above that number of just 50.
Very good. I just wanted to make that clear that we're not necessarily sticking to the, in our case, it would be the 50 people. The convention center and some of the big facilities could go up to 25%. So I just wanted to make a note of that. Sherry made the motion to approve it. I'll second it.
Okay. We have a motion and a second. Steve, can you call the roll, please?
Ms. Reagan.
Yes.
Mr. Henry.
Yes.
Mr. King.
Yes. Next, we have a Clearline USA financing agreement. Mr. Bookout, Mr. Retz.
Hi, good morning, commissioners. My name is Brad Bookout. I serve as the Director of Economic and Municipal Affairs for Delaware County. I'd like to introduce also on the call today is Mr. Al Masson from Clearline Technologies. It's a Canadian company. Clearline Technologies manufactures the C-Port, also parking bumpers and speed bumps. What the C-Port is basically a rubberized roofing support for heating and cooling and plumbing fixtures that would go on the roof of a building. And they're proposing to manufacture their products in the Delaware County Industria Center on the south side of Muncie. They're proposing to locate in the former Hinman Tool J.D. Norman building, which, if you're familiar with that building, it's been vacant for 3+ years. When J.D. Norman bought the Hinman Tool property, subsequently 150 some people were laid off from that building, or laid off from that location. It's been vacant ever since. Clearline came to Delaware County. I met them along with the county commissioners at a trade show in 2019. We worked very closely with Clearline in their search for a U.S. headquarters location, as 70% of their product is sold and distributed in the United States. They looked at other buildings in our community, and Clearline is a very environmentally conscious company. The other buildings that they looked at that they were originally planning to go to had some environmental concerns that they chose not to locate at those buildings because of that. They subsequently have made an offer to purchase, which has been accepted on the Hinman Tool J.D. Norman building. And they plan to invest upwards of $4 million, hire 10 to 20 people in the interim in the first year. There is an economic development agreement for your approval, which you have been forwarded for your review. The agreement provides for industrial development revenue funding to be received from Clearline. It's revenue funding that is provided by the state of Indiana.
Leave it alone. Yeah.
Okay. The Industrial Development Revenue Board has approved the agreement, and Clearline has met all of the requirements that are required by the county. This, again, as I mentioned previously, this will be their U.S. headquarters, and we'd like to welcome Clearline to Delaware County. I'd like to turn it over at this time to Al just for a couple words, if you'd like to say a little bit about the facility.
Sure. Thanks, Brad. I'd like to say hi to all the people I haven't met in the past. Nice seeing you again, although virtually. As Brad mentioned, we are very excited about this move. We did a very thorough search, not just in Indiana, but in Illinois, Michigan, Ohio. Very, very thorough, and very excited that Indiana is a top. We knew we needed to be closer to our U.S. customer base, as Brad mentioned, and Indiana really ticked every box, and feel very supported by everybody that's helped us in the process. It would have been faster without a pandemic, but we were able to get this done with a pandemic with Brad's help. So we're just very excited to get this building closed and start moving our stuff down in 2021. And that's it. I just want to say thank you all for your time. If there's any questions, certainly I'm here to answer them, but thanks again.
Thanks, Al, for bringing your company to Delaware County. We really appreciate it.
You're very welcome. We're very excited.
Well, hope to see you fly down in the spring, Al.
Yeah, hopefully they can open the borders soon, and we'll get there pretty soon.
So Al and also Neil Krovatz, the owner and founder of the company, have been terrific guys to work with. They've really been personable. They've been upfront with everything that they do. This is a type of company that I think is good for Delaware County, for us to diversify our different types of industrial operations that are here. They are an environmentally friendly company. They have a net positive with their the product that they manufacture. Basically utilizes recycled materials and puts them back into a productive use. So we've also worked with Mundell and Associates, which is an environmental firm, to basically do an overview of Clearline, understand what types of impacts, if any, would be necessary in our community. And Mundell has come back to us and recommended that this is a good opportunity for us to proceed with. So if there are no other questions, I would respectfully request your approval of the agreement today so we can move the project forward.
Well, we just real quick, we did take a virtual tour of the facility there in Canada, and I was really impressed with that, as I'm sure I think the other two commissioners were. But it was seems like a good facility, a good company. As Brad said, I've enjoyed both these gentlemen as well. So I'll make a motion, we approve the agreement.
Second.
I have a motion and a second to approve the agreement with Clearline. Steve, can you call the roll, please?
Mr. Henry,
Yes.
Ms. Reagan,
Yes.
Mr. King.
Yes.
Thank you, commissioners.
Thank you.
Thank you all.
Appreciate all your work, Brad.
Next, we'll move to our development agreement with WJH LLC for Country Village Properties. Angie?
Good morning, commissioners. Just to give you a little summary, Mark Connor from Century Complete had reached out to myself and Marta a few months back, and he would like to develop Section T of Country Village. Marta and I have had multiple discussions with him, along with my engineer, who gave recommendations what is needed, and he submitted a drafted development agreement, which I have provided to all of you to take a look at. And he is on the Zoom meeting if you have any questions, or he can explain more if you'd like.
And
John, look over the agreement.
I'm sorry?
I just received the agreement late, I think on Thursday, and I really haven't had a chance to take a look at it. I studied it in a little more depth to be able to make a recommendation to the commissioners. So I would ask that you table this agreement.
Okay. Sherry, did you have anything real quick?
Yeah, yes, since we're going to table it, it's about the maintenance of the ponds that are going to be built. And I didn't know if they have to have fencing or not, but we can get with Angie and Marta about that, so we can get in there to maintain them. So
I need to review this with Angie and Marta also further. So I'll make a motion, we table.
Second.
I have a motion and a second to table it. Any further discussion on this? If not, Steve, can you call the roll, please?
Ms. Reagan.
Yes.
Mr. Henry.
Yes.
Mr. King.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah. Next, we have an agreement with MIT's bus service. Angie?
Hi, Commissioner Reagan forwarded Amanda's request to me, and Amanda Price Clark is on the phone representing MITS. She is requesting permission to operate bus equipment on and across the property along 3100 South Tillotson Avenue, the new Justice Center.
Okay.
She's needing your permission.
Which means to the public that they're going to pull in and actually stop at the curb and then just pull back out on Tillotson. So, John, is this enough of paperwork for you?
Yes, this was relatively simple. I saw this, and I think this is acceptable.
Okay. I move we adopt.
I'll second the motion.
We have a motion and a second. Steve, can you call the roll, please?
Mr. Henry,
Yes.
Ms. Reagan,
Yes.
Mr. King,
Yes.
Excuse me, John, this does bring up a thing. Ms. Price Clark and I were talking to promote this bus route that is only, it's Route 17. And Amanda, would you like to maybe speak a little bit about the route?
Yes, this route is going to be done on a temporary basis to see what the ridership is. It's basically the Ivy Tech route cut short. If anybody's familiar with Route 12, we will just be going downtown out. We'll go on Hoyt to Tillotson, and then up into the Justice Center, back out on Tillotson, down to 26th, back up on Port, and into town. It will be run on a 30-minute schedule. We did that to give, if anything, it would run, it's got more than enough time because we want to keep the buses on time for people that are riding out there and going to court or anything like that. So if you guys want to see it stick around, we need as many people to ride as possible because we'll be evaluating that for the next 6 months.
And John, I was wondering, since they're a for-profit or a nonprofit, would we be allowed to have her come out and do a setup of passes and her booklets and things like that for, you know, a day maybe at the new center?
Yes, you can do that.
Would that be proper? So Amanda, we'll get together and set this up for you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank Mr. King also.
Might be good also to have Kyle put this on the website.
Yes.
I know they've posted this on social media because I've shared it several times on my account, letting people know about the bus route, the new one.
Mm-hmm.
And I'd like to thank MIDS for working with us on this also.
Absolutely, I agree.
Next, we'll move to ordinances for second reading. We have ordinance 2021-001, ordinance amending Title 4 of Delaware County Code regarding Chapter 2 permit fees. Marta?
Commissioner King, was there a vote on that MITS agreement?
I believe so.
Was there? Okay. All right. I missed it then. All right. Sorry.
Okay. So this, as I've explained previously, is an ordinance proposing to raise the various building-related fees that haven't been changed since 2013. And it's an attempt to bring us more in tune with the similar markets, I guess you'd say. And I've sent you some background material, and then more recently in talking with Tom Fouch, he thought that it would be advisable to have the effective date be, a couple of months from today to give us time to send notice to all of the contractors, over 400 contractors that we have registered with the county, so that they can be apprised of it and adjust any quotes that they may be providing to people accordingly. So that would be the only thing I would ask, is that if the motion is made, that it specify the effective date of, I threw out May 1st, but it, whatever the commissioners might think is appropriate.
I would have, I'll make a motion. We adopt the ordinance effective, you said May 1st?
Sure.
May 1st.
Second.
So the actual ordinance itself should be amended to show a new section 2 that while the ordinance is adopted this day, section 2 says it becomes effective May 1.
Yeah.
Right, Marta?
Yeah, and I can, if it makes it easier for the auditor's office, I can make that change to the ordinance and then forward that to the auditor's office, so that then the document that gets the signatures would reflect that correct effective date.
If you could send that to Jenny in the commissioner's office,
yeah,
the signatures, and then get it to Denise.
Got it.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second. Steve, can you call the roll, please?
Ms. Reagan,
Yes.
Mr. Henry,
Yes.
Mr. King,
Yes. Next, for second reading, we have ordinance 2021-002, ordinance vacating public right-of-way located in Delaware County, Indiana.
Yeah, this is just that small section of land out in Salem Township that Joe's been working on. I move we adopt.
I'll second.
Have a motion and a second. Is there any other further discussion? If not, Steve, can you call the roll, please?
Mr. Henry,
Yeah.
Ms. Reagan,
Yes.
Mr. King,
Yes. Next, we'll move to ordinances for first reading. We have ordinance number 2021-003, creating a new fund for grant-funded overtime for the Delaware County Health Department, the COVID Overtime Support Fund.
This is an ordinance requested by the health department, this ordinance, and the next one also, for creating funds, money that they receive from grants for vaccination clinic expansion and expenses. I'll let Jamie, if he wants to, speak some more about this.
Yes, thank you. So we should have two funds before the commissioners today, I believe. One is for money that's coming from the state health department to increase our capacity on our vaccine clinics. So what we're looking to do there, it's to fund staffing in particular, trying to open up some evening and weekend hours coming up as soon as we are confident we have the vaccine allotment to support that. This money would be used to then pay the overage hours for any employees that are working.
There's the ordinance right there.
Okay. Yes, this is the one that's the state health department funds.
Jamie, are you going to request us to suspend the rules today too?
Yes, I would appreciate that.
I'll make a motion. We introduce ordinance 2021-003. Can we do them both together?
I don't see why not. The other one's 2021-004, creating a new fund for grant monies to support COVID-19 vaccination clinic expansions. So Shannon, if you'd like to include 3 and 4 in your motion.
I'll make that motion.
I've put 4 up on the screen for everybody as well.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Steve, can you call the roll?
Ms. Reagan,
Yes.
Mr. Henry,
Yes.
Mr. King.
Yes.
I'll make a motion, we suspend the rules.
Second.
I have a motion and a second to suspend the rules. Steve, can you call the roll, please?
Mr. Henry,
Yes.
Ms. Reagan,
Yes.
Mr. King.
Yes.
I'll make a motion, we adopt both ordinance number 2021-003 and 004.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Steve, can you call the roll, please?
Ms. Reagan,
Yes.
Mr. Henry,
Yes.
Mr. King.
Yes.
Thank you.
Next,
Thank you,
we'll move.
Commissioners.
You're welcome, Dan. Next, we'll move to resolutions 2021-003, resolution concerning personnel policy issues for county commissioners. John, could you explain this, what we've, all three commissioners has discussed?
Yes, this is a result of some meetings with the commissioners about some changes to some of the policies of the commissioners concerning those departments that respond to the commissioners. This is a consolidation and a reiteration of the chain of command for these departments, such as the highway department, EMA, personnel affairs, those departments that report directly to the commissioners, and to require that all of the personnel folders be maintained with the personnel department, and that they understand that they're responsible to the commissioners, so that there isn't a misunderstanding as to who answers to who. So that's what this resolution is for.
And John, did anybody tell you that the engineers department's not on your list here?
No, I did. Nobody told me about that.
Okay.
So that should be amended to add them, and I can do that.
Thank you.
Shannon, do you have any questions or anything on this?
I don't. I'd make a motion, we approve with the engineering department amendment.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Steve, can you call the roll?
Ms. Reagan,
Yes.
Mr. Henry,
Yes.
Mr. King.
Yes. Next, we'll move to resolution number 2021-04, resolution to provide for reimbursement of public health and public safety payroll cost with CARES Act funding.
This was a resolution requested by the auditor's office for the CARES Act money that was received back in December pursuant to the State Board of Accounts request to have this in place so that the money can be cleared out of the COVID fund and put into the county's general fund.
I move we adopt resolution 2021-004.
I'll second it.
I have a motion and a second. Steve, can you call the roll, please?
Mr. Henry,
Yes.
Ms. Reagan,
Yes.
Mr. King.
Yes. Next, we have resolution number 2021-005, resolution of the Delaware County Board of Commissioners establishing responsibilities and areas of control for various departments and operations of the county. This is something I asked John to put together, and I believe you sent it out last night for the other commissioners to look at. When I became a commissioner in 2013, each one of the commissioners had different departments that they would oversee. And I thought it would be good that we get back to this. I know Commissioner Henry works well with EMS, EMA, and the health department. Ever since I've been a commissioner, I've worked with Brad Bookout and Bill Walters on the economic development side. And I've worked with the highway department. And I know that two of the commissioners asked me a couple of weeks ago to oversee Veterans Affairs also. So I just like to open this up for discussion. Sherry, do you have anything?
Yes. I just saw this morning when I came in, and I'd like to table it just for a few more discussions. There's no really big hurry right now, I don't think. But we did leave the engineering department off again.
Shannon, do you have anything?
I don't. I think it's a good idea.
I'm not saying it's a good idea, but
I just think it gives us each responsibilities that we can do and areas that we can focus on. Sometimes if one department calls me, they don't get what they want, they'll call somebody else until they finally figure it out. And I think it's good if we have one person as more or less like a liaison over each department that they could report back to, and then we could report back to the other two commissioners. I know sometimes some of our plates get pretty full of having so much on here that I just thought it would be good to more or less delegate or give everybody, a fair share of responsibilities.
I agree.
well, it's not that I disagree. We forgot the engineer department, so you want to go ahead.
We could add the engineering department in with the highway department.
That was my intent. That was my understanding. That's what.
Yeah.
So it doesn't mean that someone's going to hire anybody without the other ones knowing it.
Correct. No, Sherry, that's the reason why we did the one resolution that we want all hiring to go through our HR department. And Pam has also been setting in on interviews and working with our department since this had been discussed. What we're trying to do is get back. Really, there's no nepotism where family members are going to get hired. You understand what I'm saying, right, Sherry? About nepotism and family members being hired.
I made the change and put it on the screen.
Okay, I'll move that we adopt.
I'll second it.
Have a motion and a second. Steve, can you call the roll, please?
Hey, it's Donna now. Mr. Henry?
Yes.
Ms. Reagan?
Yes.
Mr. King?
Yes. Next, we'll move to department heads and elected officials. Before I have Brad get on here and give his economic report, does anybody have anything?
No.
If not, it's all you, Brad.
Thank you, commissioners. I'm going to share my screen at this time. I'm not as quick at this as John is. We'll give it a shot here.
I think we lost Brad altogether, James.
Yeah, I think we did too. There he is.
Okay, guys, I'm working to share my screen now. It says my screen sharing has failed to start. Please try again later.
Okay, try it again, Brad, because it was up there.
Okay.
I was seeing your screen on my end anyway.
Or you could email it to John.
Yep.
You should just have to have your Keynote window open.
Yeah, it's open, Mark.
And then when you hit screen share, it'll show you the options of which screen to pick.
Okay. Okay, there we go. Are we good?
Yep.
Okay, very good. All right. John, you're going to have to give me a crash course next time before I start this. All right. Listen, commissioners, thank you very much for allowing me to present what we've basically done and worked together with you on 2019 and 2020. The team that you put together, including myself, you all, working in cooperation with Bill Walters, lots of other folks throughout the county. You basically put the team together in June of 2015, and we've come a long way. And so I'm happy to present this presentation to you this morning. I'm going to try not to get too long-winded, so if I get about 15 minutes in, I know we've got another meeting at 10 o'clock. If somebody could cue me to speed up or end it, I would, I'd sure appreciate that. So to start off, if you know who Peter Drucker is, he's a popular business management author who basically is kind of an expert on the economy. And the ultimate resource in any economy is its people. It's not raw materials, not capital, but it's actually people. So I think you'll see as we go through this, it's people that have made this happen. We're not Miami or Colorado or California. We're Delaware County. We all know what we have to work with. So it's the people here that make this place special. And so I think you'll see that as we go through the slides. The scope of work in 2019, 2020 was to expand the county's business footprint. To expand the county's business footprint, what that means is that during, previously we had a lot of investment in Delaware County invested in the automobile part manufacturing. We had all of our eggs in one basket, so to speak. And so when that economy or when that industry took a downturn, we as a whole in Delaware County took a downturn. So to diversify our county's business footprint and expand it into other types of commercial and industrial enterprises is critically important. Next, continue to grow the tax base. Again, a no-brainer here. We lost BorgWarner. The BorgWarner building's been demolished. Muncie Manual Transmissions has been demolished, and Delco Battery's been demolished, Indiana Steel and Wire. We lost big critical components and pieces of our tax base. And in order for the county to continue to provide the level of services that it has in the past, we have to continue to grow the tax base. Last, of course, is infrastructure development and paving. Paving is always foremost on everybody's mind. And so we'll go through some of the projects. The first big project, which is the big announcement of 2020, was the Inox announced Delaware County as their new North American headquarters. Inox is an Italian company. They're spending approximately $15 million in capital investment in the Industria Center at this time. They're constructing a 149,000 square foot facility just south of the Ivy Tech Community College, now the Muncie Area Career Center, and just north of the Magna Corporation, Magna 1. They're building this building. Estimated 100 employees over 5 years. This is their North American headquarters. What Inox does, Inox in Italian means stainless steel. So they specialize in stainless steel slitting, meaning they cut it and they bend it and form it. If you have a refrigerator, a stainless steel refrigerator in your house, or a oven or microwave oven or dishwasher, washer or dryer that has the anti-fingerprint, you likely have an Inox product in your house at this time. This is the largest stainless steel supplier to the appliance industry. So all the big names in the appliance industry purchase their stainless steel from Inox. We introduced Inox to the governor in 2019. We met these folks at a convention, and we actually, through that process, we invited them to Delaware County. Commissioners King, Henry, and Reagan and I all welcomed them. We gave them a good tour of the community, basically showed them all that we have to offer, and personalized service is really our best thing that we have. We subsequently wanted to vet them out as well, so we toured their operations in Italy. We found a facility that was clean, was nice, was well managed, nice folks working there in a good environment, and it's a good opportunity for Delaware County to expand our industrial base. Next, Good Industries announced the Rail Spur partnership in 2020 with Good Industries. Good is to provide loading and unloading of products with the Delaware County Rail Spur. Local companies get priority. Good will assume all maintenance of the spur. That's something that Delaware County has been doing: mowing, spraying for weeds, inspecting the signals and the crossings. Good will also pay Delaware County per ton of goods shipped. I'm aware, I had a conference call last week with representatives from Good, and they are in process right now of finalizing agreements with shippers to bring product into that spur. So we're really excited about that, finally getting that spur repurposed after a long while of sitting idle. PMC Manufacturing, I worked closely with Commissioner Shannon Henry and also Albany Town Board President Steve Hall on this project. PMC Manufacturing are two brothers from Illinois that currently have a CNC milling, turning, and plasma cutting operation in Illinois. They were looking for a new facility. They prefer the state of Indiana due to our what they consider a better business environment here. The facility in Albany, the former Littler die-cast facility, perfectly meets their needs. They've purchased the facility. They're starting to move equipment now. I just talked to them last week. It's a family-owned company, and it really reminds me of maybe the thought process that the Littler family was in many decades ago, and grew that business. And so we're hopeful that the Pinson brothers, P-I-N-S-O-N, Pinson Manufacturing Company, we hope that they grow in that area just the same. BHI plans a major investment in DALEVILLE. This is Balance Holdings. I was a little unsure if this project was going to advance, but just conversations last week, we understand that COVID has slowed the project a little bit, but they still are intent upon proceeding with this project. They have signed an agreement to purchase the vacant acreage behind the White Castle in DALEVILLE, Indiana, right on I-69. They have plans to build a 100,000 square foot facility and demonstration greenhouse. DALEVILLE will be their North American headquarters, anticipating 120 employees. They have 34 current employees and are located in a commercial area within Lindenbrook now off of McGuire Road. It basically will be an aquaponics manufacturing operation. They will also then sell other outlet parcels within that development ground. So we're excited to welcome. We're continuing to support BHI. We hope that that project continues to come to fruition. WestRock, if you're familiar with WestRock, they have a nice facility in the town of Eaton. They added $4.7 million in new equipment, established in 1893, probably one of our oldest major companies within Delaware County. 64 employees total in the town of Eaton. They are a Fortune 500 company. We're very fortunate to have a Fortune 500 company in Delaware County, number 177. Assistance was provided to WestRock from the town of Eaton. So we're encouraging their continued investment to bring that facility, upgrade that facility so that they can remain competitive in the international marketplace of paper. Indiana Ticket and Muncie Novelty also did equipment upgrades. They were established in 1937. Locally owned company, 131 total employees, $2.6 million in total equipment investment, and assisted by the Delaware County Council. We did take a tour of this facility prior to the County Council working with them on a partial phased-in abatement on some of the new equipment, and was very impressed. Great group of people, great executive leadership team at that facility. And we also likewise want to continue to watch them grow and succeed in Delaware County. This is one of my favorite projects that we did, not because of the actual project, but rather because of the people behind it and that made it happen. This is Family First Storage in Albany, Indiana. So locally owned business, was basically a self-storage operation. Josh and Sarah Schaefer and their family basically purchased a blighted and rundown facility right on State Road 6728 in Albany, right on the main road. They invested over $500,000 in the facility, basically really turned it around to make it a nice looking, attractive business on the state highway. It's a climate controlled large item indoor facility. And they, like I said, they repurposed a blighted and abandoned property. So Commissioner Henry, I worked closely with him and the Albany Town Board to see that through. Jones Brothers Trucking, located in the South Muncie Industrial Park. They purchased land on Mount Pleasant Boulevard. They've added 15 new trucks. They're estimating they would like to ramp up to 50 to 75 employees as they add trucks over time. They're estimating up to $5 million in total investment in their trucks and hopefully eventually a facility at that location. They pay for all training and CDL licenses for their truck drivers. The DCRC assisted with this project, and total return on investment here is pretty amazing. Really, the only thing that the DCRC assisted with was paying for some of the ditch cleaning in front of the facility so that when the trucks pull out, they can actually see side to side. So good project. We're excited to welcome Jones Brothers to Delaware County. Magna Corporation undertook a $9.3 million equipment expansion, really led by Stephen Brand, the plant manager at that facility, creating 50 new jobs, 461 current employees. Assistance was provided for this project from the Delaware County Council. The project was led by Tracy Lutton with the Muncie Delaware County Economic Development Alliance. So anyways, good investment in Delaware County. We continue to support Magna and what they're doing. We want them to continue to grow and succeed, and we're happy for their continued investment here. Albany Healthcare undertook an $8.4 million expansion in the town of Albany. Again, a lot of things happened in the town of Albany in 2019 and 20. If you're familiar with Albany Healthcare, you know that they were hit hard with the COVID outbreak last year. And so we're glad that their owners are really concerned with that facility and wanting to continue to add on to it and improve it and invest money in the town of Albany. There are 128 current employees, adding 40 new employees, adding 42,000 square feet, 37 new units, some private units, a new gym, dining room, theater room, activity room. The town of Albany and Ashley Serpus from the Muncie Delaware County Economic Development Alliance also assisted on that project. So good investment. Midwest Metals completed an equipment upgrade also, established in 1921, headquartered in Delaware County, $1.8 million in new equipment. They have 159 current employees. Delaware County Council assisted with their project. Yorktown approved a $6 million mixed use development. The town of Yorktown led the project. Pete Olson and Rich Lee were critical people meeting with the county commissioners and I on this project. 26 Class A apartments, all-inclusive retail and a restaurant. Rebar is the developer, and the DCRC, Delaware County Redevelopment Commission, assisted. Mercix Corporation continues to diversify their product line. We worked with Susan Murray Carlock, as I mentioned at the start of the presentation. It's important for those invested in one line of manufacturing to diversify. The Delaware County Redevelopment Commission assisted with funding for Mercix Corporation to receive their ISO certification to manufacture medical devices. And so they're expanding into another product line, and we're excited to continue to see them grow into other product lines. The Delaware County Jail and Addiction Mental Health Recovery Facility. Of course, this has been a well-advertised project, repurposed the former ASIN's project or property, led by the Delaware County Commissioners in cooperation with BW Development. This project is a model for the state of Indiana, as we're seeing more interest from other counties and how did Delaware County do this. It's also received some national recognition. So congratulations to the commissioners on that project. The Morrison Tiff Trail Sidewalk Project, that we have completed phase one. If you're familiar with the area of Clara Lane, West Bethel Avenue, Morrison Road, Baker Lane, you'll see all new sidewalks and trails in those areas. Phase two, the right-of-way has been completed with project bidding planned for this month. Plans are to extend the sidewalks 1.5 miles to the east from Clara Lane all the way to Oakwood Avenue. It's a total $6.5 million project with phase 1 and 2. This has been in the works for 15 plus years to do this project. So the new DALEVILLE Town Hall and Police Station, which is underway now. It's a joint project with the county, the town, and the Delaware County Redevelopment Commission. The project will not raise taxes. The project is to be a downtown development anchor. As many of you know, downtown Deleville had a lot of blighted properties in years past. Worked closely with James King on the downtown to try to get those blighted properties acquired and get it cleaned up. We're basically doing some environmental contamination remediation there now, and this will be a downtown anchor project. So thanks to Commissioner King and the Delaware County Redevelopment Commission for your leadership to make this project possible in downtown Daleville. The South Muncie Industrial Center Trail, again, special thanks for Commissioner King for spearheading this project, basically connecting the south side of Muncie to job opportunities within the Industrial Center. This connects residential areas to the north of the Industrial Center. The trail goes in front of Ivy Tech, the Muncie Area Career Center, Progress Rail, Magna, DIY, the new Jail Justice Center, Midwest Metal, connects all of those locations to the neighborhoods in the area. It's a $4.2 million project. Again, it's being funded with all TIF dollars, so it's not raising local tax dollars. Delaware County Redevelopment Commission, the Creed Board, assisted on the project, and it's looking really good. A little bit more to do, but we're doing well. Addressing environmental concerns. This has been a key project that the Delaware County Redevelopment Commission really wanted to focus on. We recognized there were concerns with local environmental impacts in and around the Industria Center. We sought the establishment of a citizen advisory board with the help of Deb Mallitz and also Sandy All. We worked then to identify a firm to carry out the phase 1 work. We've completed a phase 1 and identified 10 locations for sampling. The phase 2 environmental assessment, a sampling and analysis plan is underway now. You can see the results of the phase 1, and you will be able to see the results of the phase 2 on the ECI Regional Planning District website, probably within the coming months. So DCRC assisted with that project. So the ECI Regional Planning District hosts the work that I do, and I work very closely with Bill Walters. Bill is basically my right-hand man, and I hope to serve as Bill's right-hand man as well. Bill has completed a lot of projects with the Regional Planning District, and I wanted to give him a shout out for some of the things that he's done and worked on in the last couple of years. So he completed the I-69 Corridor Regional Study. Bill's organization, the Planning District, maintains the Comprehensive Economic Development Strategy Plan for the region. He administers USDA BEST grant program, which provides funding for small business counseling in rural areas. He also assists with local Okra grants. He's assisted with the community crossing grants, him as well as Angie Moyer, done a great job of getting roads paved. And if you notice the roads paved in Selma and Daleville, you'll know that those are community crossing grants. EPA Brownfield Assessment Grant is submitted at this time. He's applied for $600,000 so that we can continue doing phase 1 and 2 environmental assessments in the county. He's worked on a couple EDA grants. He administers the funding for the Regional Development Authority. 14 RFPs are completed. He's gotten properties back on the tax rolls. He has $7.8 million in state and federal funding secured or pending right now. So congrats, Bill, on that. Ted Baker at the Innovation Connector. We also work closely with Ted. When COVID struck in 2020, there were a lot of businesses that reached out to us and asked for assistance. We worked closely with Ted to help those businesses apply for PPP loans. There were 40 plus secured loans, 2 million plus in money secured for those companies, 500 plus jobs impacted. And the Delaware County Redevelopment Commission did assist the Innovation Connector with some funding to help advance that assistance. I get asked a lot, if you're paving sidewalks and trails, why aren't you paving roads? And so the TIF districts do pave a lot of roads. And if you're traveling on a smooth road and you cross over onto a rough road, oftentimes you've just drove out of a TIF district because the TIFs do pave a lot of roads. I keep just a general running list of streets and roads within the county that the Delaware County Redevelopment Commission has paved with TIF money. The pictures on the right, photo credits go to Shannon Pitzer. I stole those off of his Facebook page, and I probably owe him some royalties for those. But nonetheless, we've done a lot. With Commissioner King's leadership, there's been an additional $300,000 pledged from the Delaware County Redevelopment Commission to pave more roads with TIF money in 2021. These are the trends and challenges. I'll just hit a couple highlights on these because I'm running long on my time, but increased cooperation among government units and private partners. We have made a concerted effort to reach out to all of the industry in Delaware County, large commercial businesses, so that they know who we are and that they know they have a contact at the county. That has improved dramatically. We're also working to improve the perception of local government within that business community. I think that the business community understands that the current county commissioners and the current county administration supports business in the community and wants to encourage them to expand and grow. We also have an increased focus on environmentally conscious projects. So we're taking more pride in attracting businesses that are more conscious in what they do with the environment. Challenges, we're going to see an increased strain on local budgets related to the pandemic. We're seeing big box retail and other specific sectors experiencing decreased sales. And as always, there has to be a willingness to be creative to overcome some of the challenges. This is probably the most important slide that I'll share with you today. This is the project by the numbers. As I mentioned at the start of this presentation, the county commissioners put the team together to do this work in June of 2015. I went back to what the county's assessed value was, net assessed value in 2015, paid 2016 to 2019 assessed, paid 2020. Delaware County, outside of the city limits of the city of Muncie, is up $79,108,513. These are not my numbers. These are numbers that Donna Patterson from the auditor's office assisted me with. I subsequently verified this number with Baker Tilly. A county council member called me. I actually reported a lower number at 57 million previously. And a county council member called me and said, hey, I don't know how your number is possibly right. This has got to be wrong. And so I actually worked with Baker Tilly to verify the number. And they came back and said, well, when you remove the losses within the city of Muncie during that previous 4-year period, the county is actually up $79 million, not 57 million. So we're happy about that. The decrease in the city of Muncie is no reflection upon this current city administration that took place during the previous administration. And so Delaware County Commissioners, you've been doing a great job to grow the county and get the assessed value where it needs to be. This is a model really from the state of Indiana, or for the state of Indiana. I've been reached out to by elected officials at the state level who were astounded by this and wish that this was happening in other counties around the state that are Delaware County size. Anticipated new capital investment in real and personal property in 2019 and 20 is $71,250,000. This is not assessed value. This is just capital investment from the projects that I've shared with you. This will translate to a lower net assessed value over time. Anticipated new jobs, 448. So that concludes my report. I just want to give a special thank you to Commissioner James King, Commissioner Shannon Henry, Commissioner Sherry Riggin, also Bill Walters and Angie Moyer. I also couldn't do this without the help of the Redevelopment Commission, the Creed Board, the Delaware County Commissioner staff. Jenny, you've really helped me a lot. Also the county attorneys, John Brook and Joe Retz. I'm literally on the phone to Joe Retz 4 and 5 times a day sometimes to make some of these projects happen. So anyways, I've thanked a lot of other people in there that I don't have time to probably mention by name, but it is a team. And together our team's been successful, and I'd like to continue with this, and we'll continue to make Delaware County a shining star in Indiana. So thanks, commissioners.
Thank you, Brad.
Yes, thank you, Brad.
Thanks.
It's great news for Delaware County. Next, we'll move to monthly, weekly reports, weights, and measures. Did all the commissioners get those and was able to review them?
Yes.
Yes, so moved.
Next, we'll move to payment of claims in the amount of $2,554,922.24.
So moved.
I'll second.
Have a motion and a second. Payment of claims. Donna, can you call the roll?
Steve's back. I apologize. Mr.
That's all
Henry,
right.
Yes.
Ms. Reagan,
Yes.
Mr. King.
Yes. John, do you have any comments or questions that you could forward to the commissioners? John, you're muted.
Sorry about that. There were just some comments. Congratulating the commissioners on the economic development projects and congratulations. That's all I saw.
Okay. If we don't have anything else, I'd entertain a motion and a second to recess.
I'll make a motion we recess.
Second.
The next meeting will be Tuesday, February 16th because of the Monday holiday.
Yes. Steve, can you call the roll, please?
Ms. Reagan,
Yes.
Mr. Henry,
Yes.
Mr. King.
Yes. We'll go into recess.